Here is the history of the Battle of Ain Jalut, broken down into 10 distinct parts. Part 1. The Mongol Juggernaut. By the mid-13th century, the Mongol Empire was the largest contiguous land empire in history. Under the rule of the great Khan monk, they were executing a coordinated strategy for global domination. In the Middle East, this task fell to his brother, Hulegu Khan, who was given a massive army with a clear mission: subdue all Islamic powers to the west. Part 2. The rise of the Mamluk slaves. In Egypt, the power was held by a unique class, the Mamluks. They were not a traditional dynasty but a military caste of slave soldiers. Originally purchased as non-Muslim boys, mostly Turkic from the steppes, they were converted to Islam, rigorously trained in martial arts, and served the Ayyubid Sultanate. Just years before the Mongol threat, they had seized power for themselves, creating the Mamluk Sultanate. Part 3. Hulegu's path of destruction. Hulegu's campaign was merciless and efficient. His army, which included Christian Georgian and Armenian allies, systematically destroyed any opposition. They obliterated the mountain fortresses of the assassin Nizari Ismaili order in Persia, then turned to the Abbasid Caliphate. In 1258, they sacked Baghdad, destroyed the city, and executed the Caliph, sending a shockwave of terror across the Muslim world. Part 4. The Ultimatum. After crushing Baghdad, Hulegu's forces swept into Syria. The great cities of Aleppo and Damascus fell rapidly. With the Levant under his control, Hulegu sent envoys to Cairo, delivering a stark ultimatum to Sultan Qutuz: surrender or be destroyed. The message was filled with boasts of their invincibility, intending to terrify the Mamluks into submission. Part 5. A point of no return. Sultan Qutuz faced a critical decision. His council was divided, with some advocating for appeasement. In a bold act of defiance that made war inevitable, Qutuz had the Mongol envoys executed and their bodies displayed in Cairo. This was not just an act of war, it was a powerful psychological move to unite his emirs and show his people there would be no surrender. Part 6. The Great Khan's death, a miracle from afar. As Qutuz prepared his army for a seemingly suicidal march, a pivotal event occurred thousands of miles away. The Great Khan, monk, died in China. This triggered a succession crisis, and Hulegu, as a senior prince, was required to return to the Mongol heartland with the bulk of his elite troops. He left behind only a skeleton force, perhaps 10,000–20,000 strong, under his trusted Christian Nestorian general, Kitbuqa. Part 7. The Mamluk Gambit. Seeing his one and only chance, Qutuz mobilized his entire army and marched into Palestine. He knew he could not fight the Mongols and the Crusaders simultaneously. In a masterstroke of realpolitik, he negotiated a temporary neutrality with the Crusader rulers of Acre, who even allowed him to pass through and camp near their territory to acquire supplies. This secured his flank and allowed him to march directly toward the Mongol garrison in Syria. Part 8. The Battle, Feigned Retreat and Ambush. On September 3, 1260, the armies met at the Spring of Ain Jalut. The Mamluks, using their knowledge of the terrain, executed a perfect tactical plan. General Baybars led the vanguard, attacking and then feigning a panicked retreat, a classic Mongol tactic turned against them. The overconfident Kitbuqa took the bait and charged after them, only to be lured into a narrow valley where the main Mamluk force, led by Qutuz, was hidden in the hills and ambushed them. Part 9. The Climax and the Tide Turns. The battle was fiercely contested. The Mongols, though surrounded, fought with their legendary ferocity and nearly broke the Mamluk left flank. Seeing his troops waver, Sultan Qutuz is said to have thrown off his helmet, rallied his men by shouting, "O Muslims! O Muslims!" and plunged into the fray himself. His leadership steadied the line. The Mongols were overwhelmed, and General Kitbuqa was killed, causing his leaderless army to collapse. Part 10. The Aftermath and a New World Order. The Mamluk victory was decisive. They pursued and wiped out the remaining Mongol forces in the region. The immediate aftermath saw Baybars assassinate Qutuz on the return journey, seizing the Sultanate for himself. More broadly, the battle had world-changing consequences. It permanently ended the Mongol advance into the Holy Land, secured the Mamluk Sultanate as the preeminent power in the region for centuries, and, for the first time, shattered the myth of Mongol invincibility.